Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm just taking care of a couple of settings here in YouTube land. All right. I think we're done here. Okay, so I see the room is filling up. I apologize. I'm getting a second monitor to where I can actually see when I have one monitor now. So what I do is I start the live chat and then I have to go over to YouTube and adjust the settings. Unfortunately, I can't go and adjust the settings in YouTube until I start the live chat. Following me so far? So therefore, I need a second monitor where I can do the settings and the live chat at the same time. So I apologize. Forgive me for wasting your time. Okay, we're done. Settings are done. So thank you everybody. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. I'm going to move the microphone a little closer because I've been told that my voice has been lower for some reason. Thank you for tuning in. I actually wasn't feeling all that well at work, so I decided to leave early. I have PTO built up, so I'm allowed to do that. So before I start the live stream, a lot of people reached out to me via email and text messaging, and they're asking me questions about my workout and everything. And I don't profess to be any kind of professional, but one of the many questions that come up pertains to pre-workout. So I'm going to be doing a pre-workout drink review by Granite, and I'll do that in a later video, but I just want to give you a heads up. So I've already done a pre-workout review. I compared C4 to Gym, JYM. JYM is another highly regarded pre-workout. So I've already done that. You can go ahead and do a search for pre-workout or JYM and C4, and you can probably find that review as well. So look for this review in a future. I'll probably be doing it later today after this live chat because I am going to go do some legs, and I'll let you know how that works out and whatnot. So that'll be in a future video. So I wanted to talk about a few things, one being silver and gold. I took a look at the prices, and I'm pulling that up. You're not going to be able to see it. So I'm on Kitco right now, the full metal charts. Now, I already told you in past videos, I think it's going to be sitting right around the $22.60 range, give or take 25 cents here or there, or 35 cents here or there. It's going to fluctuate, but that's where it's going to stay for a little while. What's going to happen in a month from now? I don't profess to be any kind of sight seer or psychic. I don't profess to have guardian angels. I don't profess to have dreams that are giving me visions. I'm not a prophet. This is just an opinion. But so far, it's been holding steady where my opinion says it would be sitting, and that is right around the $22.75 range, give or take 25, 35, 45 cents. What's going to happen in a month from now or 2 months from now, I don't know. But when that time comes, I kind of look around me, I kind of listen to what's going on in the news, and I get a vibe of what's going on. And I'll let you know where I think silver is going to be when those times come. But for now, in the next week or so, I think we're going to see it right around this $22.70 range, $22.64 as it sits now. I also wanted to talk about people are telling me they're just going to wait until silver drops into the teens before they start making their purchase. And if history has taught us anything, that is actually not the greatest idea. And I'm going to tell you why. History, and I think it was, when was this? When wasn't as important as what happened, but I think it was 2018, early 2019. Silver dropped. I think it was $17 or $18. It dropped all the way down to $14 and change. Do you remember that? And immediately, and I was a victim also, immediately, I, among many, many other people, immediately, as soon as we could, that is, got online and we attempted to buy silver. And Lord and behold, everybody was out of stock. Go to JM Bullion, click on Silver Eagles. Oh, shoot, out of stock. Maple Leafs out of stock. Go to APMEX, out of stock, out of stock. The only thing they had in stock was the coins that nobody wanted. And even those were starting to disappear. So when you have a significant price decrease, a lot of people dive into the market, okay? And unfortunately, the people who get there first are able to buy. But also a second variable is a lot of retailers, even your local coin shops, will pull their stock and put it back in the back room until the price goes up again because they themselves don't want to take a loss. They themselves have purchased this gold or silver at higher prices. So they pay full spot price for their stock. The deal that they get on premium, I don't know. I would imagine they pay the same premium as us. However, they're able to take advantage of lower premium prices due to the volume that they buy. So if you go on, for example, JM Bullion and APMEX to buy one Silver Eagle versus an entire monster box, you can see the difference in premium that you will pay. So I suspect they're paying the same premiums that we are, but are enjoying lower premiums due to the volume that they're buying. Again, though, when the prices drop significantly and quickly, a literal dive in prices, the few people that can get online normally buy up. And then the retailers, regardless of whether they're online or local, will sometimes pull the stock from the shelves because they themselves do not want to sell their silver at a lower price than what they purchased for. And it's during those times they'll only perhaps buy. And then hopefully the price will go up again, which it normally does, and then they'll resume selling. I also wanted to mention something about the ability to get in products. We're having a problem with regardless of whether it's food, regardless of whatever it is, of shelves being reloaded, as we know, and that could also take place in the silver and gold market as well. So we're having a lot of problems with our supply chains right now. And I wouldn't, if you're in the market for buying precious metals such as gold and silver, and you're waiting for prices to drop even a few cents, it might not work out to your advantage. You might start to see products none available. Click on Silver Eagles, not available, out of stock. So there's that fine line of waiting to drop a few cents, right? and that fine, and then also gambling whether it will be in stock in the next week or two, or however long you're going to wait for your sweet premium price that you're waiting for to lower to. So gamble that out. Also consider the amount of silver that you're buying. I get some people say I'm only going to buy 5 Eagles, but I'm waiting for it to drop 10 more cents. Are you kidding me? It's 50 cents you're waiting on. You're waiting on to save 50 cents. You're waiting and gambling. So put that in the back of your mind. I can understand if it dropped 10 cents and you're buying a monster box or two, right? There's a significant savings, and that should weigh out in your final purchase decision. But really think out your variables. We're going to have a supply chain issue, and now I want to go into food and supply chains. I went to, Walmart the other day, and it's starting to, not quite. I'm going to actually take my video camera the next time we go grocery shopping, and I'm going to film now. Start to film and record and have on record how the shelves started to look as of today versus, let's say, in 2 weeks, 30 days. Because the last time I went, and that was about a week ago, shelves are starting to look 50% stocked. So they were starting to empty out a little bit. And a lot of things are starting to not be resupplied, which is getting me back into prepping. I don't know how bad the shelves are going to empty and how long they're going to remain empty. But again, history has taught us something. That was the beginning of COVID. The shelves in many, many stores were completely empty. Remember this? I'm trying to revive your memory. Couldn't even buy toilet paper. Remember this? You couldn't buy kitchen paper towels. Remember this? You couldn't buy meats. The whole refrigerated meat aisle, steaks and chicken were empty. Pork, gone. Bread aisles, empty. I even look at the beginning of the year of 2020 at my videos. I recorded it and I posted it online. The shelves, empty shelves. And thankfully, those shelves were refilled after a few months. But gauging from the amount of ships off of the San Francisco coastline that are just waiting to be unloaded, this is looking pretty significant. And that is just what they're showing you off the coast of San Francisco. One location, one of many locations, they unload cargo ships. So getting back to prepping, I understand silver is important right now, but it might be to your advantage to temporarily, if you must, reallocate your precious metals money into a food supply. Okay? If you don't have a food supply, get some. Again, I don't know how long these shelves are going to remain empty. I don't know to what degree they are going to empty to. But you got to take that unknown and you got to factor it into your survival. You got a family to feed. You got your own belly to feed. It's time to think about it, okay? And if you don't believe me, listen to the news. Got a supply chain issue. Truckers not wanting to go to work. Truckers being forced to take the mandatory jab and they're not coming to work. A lot of people are unhappy. And I got a feeling that's going to affect a lot of industries. And this would be a good time to segue into, I can't use the entire name of the airline because YouTube might consider me an enemy of the state. Well, homegrown terrorists. I'll just use SW Airline. About 2, maybe 3 days ago, again, dates are not important, SW Airline canceled approximately 1,600 flights. Immediately, SW spokespeople came out and said it was due to air traffic control issues combined with weather-related issues. Immediately, FAA came out in their own defense and says that is a lie. Okay, because the only airline, SW, was the only ones who canceled 1,600 flights. So if it was weather related, it would have affected all the other airlines. SW spokespeople just came out today and said their problems are all because of our president, which should tell you a little bit more what's going on. At first they lied to you. It was weather related. Our stockholders, they're just trying to protect their stockholders. And so the bottom line is this. Because you're not hearing it in the news, and many of you already probably know the truth, but many of you might not. SW Airlines canceled 1,600 flights, not because it was weather related. Think about this. We've all flown before. When it's weather related, flights are delayed until that weather cell or pattern passes by. They're normally delayed a half an hour, 2 hours, could even be 3 hours, but the flight is never canceled. This was 1,600 flights canceled. And it was found out, again, the news is not going to let you know, and I'll tell you why they're not going to let you know. Because pilots were told to get a mandatory stick or else fired. So what they did is they collaborated amongst each other, and many called out sick. Therefore, the real reason those flights were canceled was because of a lack of pilots. So we got a lack of delivery personnel being able to, in the supply chain. Now we got a lack of pilots due to their bosses demanding they get the jab. So that's what's going on. Now, why would the news tell you that lie and say no, it was weather related? Because they don't want you to know how to combat your bosses. They don't want you to get any ideas about collaborating with your coworkers and maybe calling out sick for a period of time, or maybe some other plan like quitting or something. They don't want you to get any funny ideas. So that's why the news is perpetrating this lie. We also have a problem here locally in Tucson. Now, I know if we have a problem here in Tucson, you have it in your city. And the news again is running with this programming. They don't call television programming for nothing. Excuse me. Here in Tucson, again, if it's in Tucson, it's in your city. Here in Tucson, the news is going with, well, there's no more, we can't take care of any more COVID patients because the hospitals are filled up. That was a lie. Actually, emails were leaked by the hospital. Somebody in the hospital leaked some emails to the news, the conservative news. And basically, there's tons of empty beds. But the doctors are now quitting or taking temporary leave of absence due to the mandates put upon them for the mandatory jab. Wow, let me get some water. So all over in many industries, a lot of people are doing their peaceful protests. And now you got politicians and activists saying this is unfair. It's funny when the protests are for their agenda, all is fair and love and war. But God forbid you protest in a really peaceful way, like calling in sick. And, oh my God, that's horrible. That's horrible. This is so unpatriotic and so whatever. So just the point of this is stop listening to everything the news says. You should listen to the news to a point because you got to know your enemy. But just remember, the news is not independent of each other. They're all, even though they have different initials, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, they're all the same damn news. Okay, and they're just reading off the same script. Just be careful and just know that people are fighting back and they're in a peaceful manner. So let's say hello to a few people. That's a sexy wireless hole punchery. I don't know what that means. Barrick's Special. That's a... Oh, you're talking about that hole puncher. Thank you. I didn't understand it for a second. Got it now. Appreciate it. Jordan. Who else? Lord Humongous. The Humongous rules the wasteland. Larry Summers, thank you. Dom C, yeah, I worked today. I just wanted to leave early. I just wasn't in the mood, sometimes if you're not there, it's sometimes, believe it or not, best for your employer that you just leave. Otherwise, you're just on his time, right? Charging his time for something that you're really not doing effectively or efficiently as you could be. If your mind's not into it, sometimes it's best that you leave and do yourself and your employer a favor is my motto. Because you just don't want to sit there, right, and waste his time, his money. Because my employer's a good guy, or a good company, I should say. Larry Summers, Apple stock drop, market deals tomorrow. Hi from Luxembourg. Thank you so much, Air Mac Full. YouTube sucks. Got that. Delta Trotsky 125. How is Digibyte? I haven't checked it on the channel. Digibyte's still 5 cents. It's not doing nothing. I'm growing impatient, but I have insiders that tell me don't grow impatient. But it's sometimes hard not to. 5 cents. Give me a break. I've been sitting on that crap for 3 or 4 years now. I'm getting tired of waiting. Port Hill, thank you so much. Brandon B, finally hit my goal of 1,500 ounces of silver. Eagles, focusing on cash and food now. It took him 6 years of sacrifice. Brandon, thank you so much. Brian Sherland, go Cardinals here in Arizona. Hello from Peoria. Judah Finkelstein, question: How is Treasury using the ESF to beat silver up on the COMEX? I don't quite understand your question, but when you purchase silver, you're buying lots of silver. Let's just hypothetically say, and you're buying a lot of 500 ounces. The problem with the paper silver is they're selling that same 500 ounces, that same paper, saying that you own it. They're selling it to 10, 20 other people. Gambling that none of the people that they sold it to will ever trade in their paper ETF in for the precious metals. And they just hold on to that paper thinking that they're the sole owner. That's the problem that I have with the paper market. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Butch Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. AOTTP is humongous, busting those workouts. Thank you so much. Show them guns, bro. No, thank you. I'm a very I try to wear shirts with long sleeves and whatnot. I had to go out and buy some. This is a double X shirt, believe it or not. Double X. And I actually had to start going out buying triple X. For example, I'll go to Dick's Sporting Goods. I know it's a communist store, but they don't have Most stores don't have double X and a triple X in them. You have to actually go on their website to buy it. So, nice EOTech optics. Yeah, so that is an EOTech. This is night vision compatible. It's a night vision compatible EOTech. It's co-witnessed with my front and rear iron sights. Again, night vision compatible. Appreciate it. Appreciate the compliments. Thank you. Who else is here? I had nothing 4 years ago. I got everything now. Absolutely. Who else is here? Toko Talk. I think we have bottomed in silver already. We're going to be stuck from 22 to 30 until it breaks to the upside. I would love to see it fall further. I would love silver to fall even further. But I don't want it to fall overnight like some big dip, because that's when the market, everybody jumps into the market. That's when everything is sold out. I want to see it drop slow enough to where we can all get into it, you know, and reap those rewards. Again, what happened in 2018, 19, that was sudden. It went from like 17 or 18 bucks all the way down to 14 and change. Like almost within days. Boom. And everybody was sold out. They couldn't take advantage of it. People could not take advantage of it. Nightmare, hello. Thank you so much. People always... I realize the premiums are high. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. But on the flip side, I do believe that can be an advantage when you go to sell your silver. Okay? They're not going to give you nothing for your silver. Because in those days, they're going to be hard up as well. The people that you're selling the silver to. And I'm talking about the retailers, the online retailers, and your local coin shops. They're going to want it. And I can already see when you go to sell your silver, they are giving you a little bit money towards your premium when they go to buy your silver. At least they are in my town. Yeah, 10-ounce bar, Royal Canadian, from a pawn shop for $260 last week. That's a good deal. Amex has them at $296. Okay, so you saved a couple of bucks. I'm sorry, I would not buy anything off of Craigslist. I commend you of getting that bar at a decent price, but I stay away from Craigslist when it comes to precious metals. Who else is here? Dove Session. Bye-bye. Buy low, buy high, just buy. Who else? The Josh Man. Silver chart is the worst chart I've ever seen. It's gone up like 3 times in 50 years. Okay. Yeah, the Mercury dimes are nice. I love them. So yeah, I have about a 1-year food supply for two people. Okay, so it's very important to factor in how many people you got to feed. Now, much of my 1-year food is it's packed in Mylar with oxygen absorbers and whatnot, so there's no oxygen in these Mylar bags. The bulk of my food, I can tell you, different pastas, and they're in 5-gallon buckets, so they're pretty big buckets. And I have a few buckets of pastas, a few buckets of rices, a few buckets, more than a few buckets of various beans and legumes. Split peas, pinto beans, you get the idea. White beans for navy bean soups. I got tons of bags of, like you go down the bean aisle, you have those bags of split pea soups. It's split peas with a little packet of seasoning in there, and all you do is you cook it up and you throw in some ham and whatnot, and you doctor it up. Got tons of those bags. But I got other things. I've got something like 40 cans of Mountain House freeze-dried foods and whatnot, and I've showed them in the past. But no matter how hard you try to prep, you always forget something. There's always a weakness. So my advice is just to walk in the house and start with your bathroom, believe it or not, and just take a little notepad of the things that you use every day. Everything from soap to alcohol wipes to women's feminine products, toothpaste and whatnot. Everything that you use from the moment you wake up, and take a mental inventory as you get out of bed. What do you start to consume? What do you start to use up? And just jot that down throughout the day. And you'd be surprised, even if you're a prepper, what you have already forgotten. Everything from shaving cream to shaving blades and whatnot. And I'm talking even for your dog items and whatnot, treats and dog food and whatnot. So from the moment you go back to bed, what are you using up? I would also look at some water filtration systems, both manual as well as, when I say manual, I'm talking like a Berkey water filter where you can just dump water in, and you can have both. You can have a reverse osmosis as well. Now, frankly, I think the reverse osmosis water filtration system is by far the best, depending on the name brand. But also the Berkey is good for secondary as far as a manual water filtration system. I think that's the best. For example, I can pretty much go to any lake, take a bucket of water and dump it into my Berkey, and that water is going to come out tasting like the best bottled water you have ever had. So I would have maybe a little bit of both worlds for water filtration. But we can go on and on and on how to prep and how to prepare for family essentials. Definitely take care of your woman, though. All her needs and whatnot. First aid kit might not be a bad idea. Who else is here? Tanner. I'm seeing actually a lot of names I haven't seen before. That's good. That's awesome. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, I appreciate if you would subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't like my content, give me a thumbs down. I don't mind. It gives me a way to gauge myself and how I'm doing, right? So I don't mind it. Tanner Strumbo. Thank you. They're all forced to use or lose their vacation and sick pay. Absolutely. And now they're threatening on just out of emergency bringing over people from Asia to fill your jobs. That's what they were talking about. For emergency purposes, you skip the immigration line, you come right into the hospital. Start fixing our people up. That'll be nice. The swing in Richard. Thanks for the news. No, thank you for watching. Who else before I call it a day? Debonair Dillon. Thank you so much for being here. Roosted remains. Everything is doing well, Roosted. Yeah, propaganda does suck. But just remember, everything on television it's being presented to you so you make a decision based on the information that's coming from the television and not from the information that you're consuming. So that's the whole goal of propaganda, to trick you into making the wrong decisions. Gregory Thompson, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Roll Tiderman, Rule the Wasteland channel is awesome. Thank you, Lord Humongous. So I got a shout out there. Featherstone, I'm getting prepared. Huku Kamania. I'm in a wood ready. Okay. The Joshman, loose new coming. Biden will blame the GOP. Oh yeah, it's all the GOP's fault. Yeah, I got about, I kid you not, a year's worth of TP. As we sit here, I got a year's worth of TP for 2 people. Probably more. Volkswagen Planet, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. So very true. And we're talking silver and precious metals. Silver, highwayman, possession is 9/10 of the law, physical all the way. Silver Wolves in the house. What program you use for live streaming? I'm thinking of going live in a near future. So yeah, I can help you out there. I don't mind helping fellow channels. What I use, it's free. It could be a little cumbersome, but it's free. Streamlabs OBS, just download it. Configure it to, all you need to do is configure it to your YouTube or whatever streaming platform you plan on using. Mine, excuse me, a little itch in my throat. Mine's configured to YouTube because it's my streaming platform. So Streamlabs OBS. I don't mind helping out other YouTube channels. I reached out to a couple of YouTube channels. Some of them were very gracious, and others just flat out ignore you. You know, questions such as that. So I kind of feel for you, and hopefully maybe we can collaborate on a video someday. Debonair Dylan. Thank you so much for being here. Cosmic Logic, you need a nickname. We need something short. Let me read that again. Overtax, you need a nickname. We need something short to say. Our highs to LOL. Well, Overtax is my nickname. I'm a little lost there. Yeah, I do remember buying silver in the 12-ish range. Good old days. How long do I think these pilots will have the one-day flu? I have no clue. I just commend people who are standing up for not only themselves, but others. Because even the people who are not taking the day off in protest are still going to reap the rewards of what these people are doing. And it should empower people to also not just sit by and let somebody else do your protesting, but you should fight your own battles also, is what I'm trying to say, and not let somebody do it for you. Yak River Rancher, how do we got blasted by a nice snowstorm this morning? Love it. I'm just curious, Yak River. Again, I might have asked you in the past, where you at? G-Man 99 504 quickly bought my monster box when silver dropped at 14. Best buy I had made ever. Just looking. When I go quiet, I'm just looking at some of the comments. That's all. Hey, I was just wondering if I can ask everybody a favor right now. I really would appreciate it. If you can just give me a thumbs up, I really would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, seeds also. And believe it or not, I agree. Heirloom seeds, that they're not genetically modified. And believe it or not, eBay was a good place. I got a lot of my non-GMO seeds on eBay. And I still have them to this day. They're packed away. Barton Thorne, I hope you're right. He thinks silver is going to go over $100 an ounce in 18 months or less. Gold will go to $5,000 in 18 months or less. That's awesome. I hope you're right. John, not John. How do you feel about collectible silver coins? Like the Bitcoin silver coins and the Trump coins that get minted. So I have one Bitcoin silver coin. It's basically silver is silver. That's all I got to say. I have a couple of Trump. They're in the cases, Trump Silver Eagles. So the case just says Trump on it. But the coin itself is an authentic Silver Eagle. Again, I think people who like Trump are going to love those coins. People who like Bitcoin are going to love the Bitcoin. But again, regardless, forget the Silver Eagle. Let's talk about the Bitcoin or any other artistic generic round, because that's what it is. Silver is silver. Providing that the coin is real silver, silver is silver. I don't think a Bitcoin, I only have one. I wish I had more. But I don't think my Bitcoin silver coin is going to bring me some kind of crazy premium. It's just going to give me spot price. So don't get caught up in buying them thinking that it's going to make you money down the road. It's not. Silver is silver, and it is what it is. Thank you for the question. And I don't feel, in my mind, collectible silver coins. Collectible can be collectible to you, but it wouldn't be collectible to me. So collectible is just whatever you're into is collectible to you. But a Bitcoin silver coin or any of those generic rounds are not collectibles to me. They're inexpensive silver. And what do I mean by that is I can get them at a lower rate than I can get a Silver Eagle or Canadian Maple Leaf. Normally, generic rounds are a little bit cheaper than the counterparts of the bullion. None your business. Thank you so much for being here. Like Hot Demon, how many gallons is a Berkey good for replacing the filter? So that's a good question you asked me that, because I'm going through that right now. So in my Berkey, I have the black filters and I have the fluoride filters connected to the black filter. The fluoride filters are good for 1 year. However, they're $65 for 2 filters. Okay, so it's basically $65 for the fluoride filters, which also filters out other heavy metals, not just fluoride. The black filters are good, I think they said, for 3,000 and some odd gallons, which in my mind is about 2 years, 3 years. However, you can clean them. You can clean the black filters a couple of times before replacing them. So you can actually stretch out the lifespan. In order to clean a black filter, you remove it with clean hands and you take a brand new sponge that has a brush on one side. Brand new. You wet that sponge and you lightly scrub down the filter with the scrub side. Brand new. Got to keep saying that. Rinse it off. Put it back in. You're good to go. Okay? Do not use a sponge that you've used even one time before that. It needs to be coming right out of the package. Wet it to soften the sponge and use the scrub portion to wipe down the black filter. And I just did that. So there you have it. Feather Stun, how much you feel you should leave in the bank? Very easy question to answer. Just enough money to pay for the bills for that 1 or 2 months in your question. Shows how much do you feel you should leave in the bank? 1 or 2 months worth of expenses? Yes. That's all. There's nothing wrong with you keeping a stockpile of cash in your house. providing that it's protected. But in the bank, what is the bank for? You're old enough to hold your own money. You're strong enough to hold your own money. You don't need somebody to hold it for you. Do you come home and park your car in somebody else's garage and say, you hold it for me? I'm not man enough or woman enough I'm not an adult to watch my own possessions. So again, there's nothing wrong with having extra cash, but I would not leave any extra cash in the bank. Just enough to pay bills for a couple of months, okay? Any extra cash that you might need, and there's a good possibility that you will need it, you keep it in your own home. Beto D, love the precious metals. I do too. And every now and then, a lot of people say, don't touch it. Oh my God, you're going to tarnish it. Yeah. Wash your hands, but put 3 or 4 or 5 freaking Silver Eagles in your hand and feel it. Feel what real money is. I encourage everybody to do that. Who else is here before I got to get out of here? So, would Berkey filter out lye? I cannot answer that question as I sit here, but Berkey always has a good support line that you can call and ask him that question. Lye is, I don't think, I know what lye is. We used it, we mix a lot of lye and sometimes cement when we stucco a house and whatnot. But its composition, I don't know if it's truly a heavy metal or not, but it depends on the molecule's size, right? So that's something you're going to have to probably ask Berkey. I know this about Berkey. You can put water in the Berkey, and you can put a bunch of red dye in it, come back the next morning, and the water that is filtered out has 0 red tint to it. You can't even tell there was red dye in there. Put it in a clear, clean glass, 0. So it depends on how big the particles of lye are. That's the bottom line. Now, lye is a very toxic substance to the human body. Would I want to be the first one in line to experiment? No, you might want to have somebody else experiment. Have your worst friend go in line. Hey, have yourself a glass of water. And watch him go into convulsions. I'm actually teasing, by the way. All right, I think that's it. Rockzilla, thank you so much for being here. Silver Lunatic, I use lye to unclog my drains. Yeah, it's nasty stuff. Arizona North Star, Colorado City, awesome. Do you can or preserve your own food in some way? Yes. So I have a canner. I've canned before. I've made videos in the past on how to can, how to braise meat and whatnot, and can it and whatnot. So I definitely enjoy canning. I will tell you this. When you can food, just don't leave it on the shelves and forget it, thinking it's going to be good for ever. When you can something, try to consume it within 2 years. Within 2 years. But yes, I do. And I forgot all about it. I also have a dehydrator, so I like to dehydrate stuff. For example, I will thinly slice up apples, and I will mix up cinnamon and sugar and dust all the slices with cinnamon and sugar, throw them in my dehydrator, and then once they're dehydrated, I will then put them in a food saver bag, suck out all the air, and then I will create my own bags of chips, as you would think of. That's the best way I can articulate what they are. And they taste phenomenal. Everything from strawberries I got in the back room. I have strawberries, I have blueberries, So I go to like Costco and I buy the big freaking flats of blueberries, and I'll dehydrate them all. And you know, you can always rehydrate them, put them into recipes, or just eat them like candy, like that. So the sky's the limit on what you can do with just a dehydrator. Anyway, folks, I got to run. I appreciate everybody's time. And I'm going to be uploading a silver video in about, I'd say,